Hey, Algonquin and surrounding areas. This is Richard Freedkin, Realtor with eXp Realty, and I'm coming to you again with another market segment report for the area. I'm going to do something a little bit different than I normally do. Right now it's October 31st, so happy Halloween. Hope you're having a good time with the trick-or-treaters or any of your Halloween parties. Make sure you be safe. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. Normally, I do this report at the beginning of each month, and it covers the previous months or two activity of what's going on in the real estate market for different cities. But I'm going to do something a little bit different right now. And the reason for that is because we have an election coming up and people are jittery. They don't know what's going on with the real estate market, can almost cut it with a knife. And that's just from everybody I'm talking to. And that's another reason why the real estate market is a little bit slow. But there's many reasons for that. But I do want to show you some statistics that will kind of help you put a few things in perspective. So the first slide I'm going to show you is these are seasonal sales drops. So the amount of real estate sales prior to an election or just normally in October, November. So just normally because of the season, colder weather, holidays coming up, sales typically drop 9.8%. But in election years, we see sales drop 15%. Now we're seeing sales been dropping quite a bit in Illinois. And part of that reason is because Illinois has one of the lowest amounts of inventory of the entire country. We're down 60% from where we should be. I think New York is 40% and some other areas are 30% and 20%. And then other areas that are experiencing price drops because they just were way overpriced for so many years. They got a glut of inventory, but not here. We've got like next to no inventory. So people are holding on to their homes, and that's because prices aren't dropping and people aren't dumping their homes. Homes continue to go up in price here in Illinois. So we have such low inventory and still such hot buyer demand that's still keeping prices up and pushing them even higher. If a home is in good shape and it's priced right, it's getting multiple offers still. So it's really important to keep that in mind. But what I want to show you too here is how to feel good about what's going on with real estate after an election. So if you look at the last 11 elections, 9 out of 11 sales increased. So in 2020, you had 5,640,000 units of homes sold. And in 2021, 6,120,000. So if you look at the last 11 election cycles going all the way back to 1980, 9 of the 11 sales, the amount of homes sold increased. So that's a good sign. So I don't see, you hear some people saying there's going to be a market crash. I just don't see that happening. And part of that is because interest rates are still very good. Let's take a look at interest rates right now. So this is kind of a little chart where 30-year and 15-year fixed rates have been. Yeah, we got down around 6.25 back in September, and we've crept up a little bit, 6.72. This is data provided by Freddie Mac. But, we're going to see a little bit of a roller coaster up and down a little bit. I think by middle next year, we're going to be settling in the mid fives, somewhere around there. And, just so you know my background, I've been doing real estate for over 40 years. I owned and operated one of the largest mortgage brokerages in Illinois. I was in the mortgage business from 1976 to 1992 or 2002. So 25 years I was in the mortgage business. So I have a good handle on interest rates and the markets and things like that. But take a look at this chart just to kind of give you an idea where we are at. This is mortgage rates going all the way back to 1971. I mean, look at what rates were in 1971. They were averaging like 7%. And then when I got into the mortgage business in 1976, they were 7.75%. And there was no such thing as a 0-point loan. You always paid 3 points to get a mortgage. Today, everything is 0 points unless you want to buy the rate down. But then we went into the early 80s where it was 18, 19%. Nobody was buying houses unless it was seller financed. And then we've been on a downward trend ever since. Then we hit this low in 2020, 22, and then we've crept up because of the pandemic and supply shortages and stimulus checks, which pushed inflation up, and don't want to get into all that. But rates are good. It's a good time to buy. Don't wait for rates to come down to buy a home. And the reason for that is they say, marry the house, date the rate. And if the sales data of what happens with home sales after elections is any indication, we're going to have more homes for sale, more prices being pushed up. with low rates, more buyers than sellers. So in 6 months, 8 months, you could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more for the same house that you could buy today. Just buy it now, pay the higher rate, do a 2-1 buy down with your lender. 2-1 buy down. Today's rate 6 3/4. You know, you can get a 2-1 buy down where the first year rate is like 5, the second year rate is 6, the third year rate is 7, and that continues for the next 30 years. But over the first 2 years, the rates come down to 5.5%. Refinance the thing into a 30-year fixed rate, pay a couple of points, do no closing costs. You'll be way ahead of the game. So, and I've got mortgage guys I can refer you to for all that good information. So it's a good time to buy. Prices are high. It's a good time to sell. Prices are only going to go higher. It's a good time to buy before that happens. If you're thinking about buying or selling, let me show you this. I was a national speaker on real estate. I'm an author. I've written several publications on real estate, buying and selling. I've got a lot of background. Like I said, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've written my home seller books, my home buyer books. If you're looking to sell, I've written a book on everything you need to know on how to prepare your home to sell so you get the most amount of money and sell it in the fastest amount of time. I even use examples from my own listings. So great book there. I call it my Bible because it'll teach you everything you want to know about getting your home ready. I've also written a brand new home buyer's guide, covers everything from A to Z, and it covers these new rules on how home buyers have to work with their realtors as far as signing a brokerage agreement ahead of being able to ever tour a home. It's brand new, but I've even included information about that and how to use those new rules to your advantage when buying a home. So take advantage of all these because they're free. Might as well give me a call, 847-922-8423. Give me a call. If you own a home and you want to know what it's worth, give me a call, send me an email, rjfreedkin@gmail.com. If you're looking at this on a desktop computer, scan that QR code, take you to a web page, fill in your information. I'll get to work on creating personally researched market analysis for you. So it is still a really good real estate market. I hope that you guys do get out and vote. I hope that you have a great Halloween. Be nice and safe. Don't eat too much of the chocolate. And the next time you're going to hear from me is after Thanksgiving. So I also hope you have a great Thanksgiving with family, friends, good food. Holidays are here. And just enjoy the next couple months with all the holidays. Going to be a good time. So I will check back in with you on November 1st. We will have elected ourselves a new president. And just keep in mind that everything will be okay. So I'll talk to you around November 1st. Take care. Bye now.